What is going on, everyone? Thanks for entering the lobby of Hobbies. I'm Jazz, and on today's episode, we are celebrating Spanish Heritage Month, so how could I not do a video that celebrates my Puerto Rican culture? Now, us as Puerto Rican people, we pride ourselves on the things that make us who we are, the things that celebrate our heritage. Now, two of those top things are our music and our food. I mean, these are the staples of every family function and gathering that happens. Now, I'm talking about music that ranges from salsa all the way to reggaeton, artists from Tito Puente and Mark Anthony to Bad Bunny and Daddy Yankee, where when these songs come on the radio or when that DJ plays them, everybody in the room either wants to get up and dance or start singing and celebrating. But our food is a staple that we pride ourselves off of and we enjoy. No different than any other culture. But man, there's something about going over to grandma's house on a Sunday afternoon and smelling that fresh pot of arroz con gandules that's on the stove and that pernil that's ready to come out of the oven. And even our holiday favorites, things that are months away from me now that I'm still already thinking about and salivating over, like pasteles and coquito, like the things that make me proud to be Puerto Rican. But what about games? Is there a game that just embodies who we are as Puerto Rican people? And if you were to go to any family function, we'll find 4 people sitting at a table, probably from the moment the party starts to the moment the party ends, or even after the party ends. And yes, that is dominoes. But we as Puerto Rican people, we have a specific way in how we play our dominoes, and I wanted to share that with you today. So let's get into it. All right, now understand here we are going to be learning Puerto Rican dominoes. Now, the gameplay is basically the same on various parts of the island, but there might be things that change like scoring. In a game of dominoes, we are going to be playing in partners. So I will be playing with my opponents to my left and my right, and my partner across from me. Understand that there is no table talk or no sending signals to your partner. That is considered cheating. So pretty much you're going to be looking at the dominoes that only you can see in your hand and playing them out, and you have to read your opponents and your partner to see what they're playing and kind of play off of that. So there's no sending signals, no cheating in this game. But we play with a set of double 6 dominoes. Those dominoes we place face down at the beginning of the game in the center of the table, and you'll give them a good mix. Every player will draw 7 dominoes into their hand, and then play will start. Understand there are going to be some things that we would set ground rules for in the beginning with respect to scoring, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let me set up the game with everybody getting a hand of 7 dominoes, and we'll continue. All right, now to start the game, everybody will look at their dominoes, and the player who has the double 6 will start the game off. They'll place that domino in the center of the table, and play will continue counterclockwise. So my opponent to my right would be the next player to play, and they're going to play a 6. In this situation, they do not have a 6. So play would then continue. So they pass and play would continue to my partner. But in my family, we have a pass rule where we give bonuses or awards, but we call them premios in Spanish. So what we do is we award 100 points to the team that was able to make their opponent's pass. So the first pass that we were able to do would give us 100 points. The next team that could make their opponent's pass would get 75, then 50, then 25, and every pass after that for the rest of the game is going to be worth 20 points. We play to 500 points. So in a 500-point game, once you get to 480, you do not get awarded any more passes if it would take you to the 500 mark to win. But play is going to continue until one player is able to discard their final domino to the center of the table. Now, when you're playing dominoes, you can only play to one of 2 sides. So in this situation, this player has to play a 6. The next player can either play a 5 or a 6. Let's say they decide to play a 5. Play would come back to me, and then I would, let's say, play this 6. Now you have an option. My opponent can either play a 3 or a 4, and that is it. You only get an option to play to one side of the table or another side of the table until one player has discarded their final domino to the center of the table. Once that is done, the remaining dominoes that are in the other player's hands will get flipped over. You will count the pip values on those, and those pip values, cumulative, will be awarded to the team that won the hand. Now, let's get into scoring and talk about the different nuances or the different things that some people do. I'll specifically tell you how my family does it, just to kind of speed up the game, to make games go quicker so we can get more people to the table. All right, so while I was telling you that there are some bonuses or premios that we give in my family for making opponents pass, in our game, because we played a 500, we award those extra bonuses. In some situations, some people are only playing to 200 points, so they may not award bonuses for those passes, or in some situations, they might award it as low as 10 points, and every pass is just worth 10 points. But again, you're going to calculate your score based on your pip values. What we do is we also only give points if you score 16 or more pip values that are left on the table, and we always round up. So there has to be at least 16 to be able to score, and we would round up, so we would score 20 points. If the pip values on the table were 23, we would round down and we would only score 20 points. Now, there are some additional bonuses that pretty much are a staple throughout the island when it comes to Puerto Rican dominoes. The first one is going to be called a Capicu. So in a Capicu, what that means is when the last domino that is played can be played to either side. For example, this 4-3 can be placed here on this 4, or it can be placed on this 3. This is a Capicu. That gives you a 100-point bonus for ending the hand with that domino. Now you would get the 100-point bonus plus adding the pip values that are left on the table. The next bonus that could be potentially played is a chuchazo. Now what a chuchazo means is when the last domino that is played from a player, from their hand, is the double blank. This is called the chuchazo, which also will award the winning team for that hand a bonus of 100 points plus the remaining pip values on the table. So those are the two things that are pretty much known throughout all of Puerto Rico and Puerto Rico dominoes when it comes to scoring, is the Capicu and the chuchazo. So 100 points for the Capicu, 100 points for the chuchazo. In my family, what we also do is we have a thing called giving bonus points for a tranque. Now, a tranque is just a Spanish term for blockage. Now, in that situation, what that means is that all the dominoes, the dominoes that are able to be played onto the table, let's just say, for example, there are a 4 on this side and a 4 on that side. And let's say all the 4s have been played. No other player has a 4 in their hand. What this would mean is that since there's no 4s able to be played, the game has been locked or blocked. And what you would do, and this is again determined at the beginning of the game, house rules, whichever player or team combined has the least amount of pip values in their hand left, that team would win the hand and get a bonus of 50 points. So let's just say I played this lock, and we're playing the one person who has the lowest pip value. Let's say I had the double blank in my hand. Obviously, I have 0 pips in my hand. I would win the hand. Me and my partner would win. We would get the 50 bonus points plus whatever was left on the remaining pip values at the table. But if we're playing it in teams, we would add my pip value with my partner's pip value and compare that to the combined pip value of our opponents, and whichever team has the lowest pip value would win that hand or that tranque, and then they would also gain the 50-point bonus plus the total of the pip values at the table. So these are just some different scoring differences that we play in my family just to speed games up a little bit. Again, we're playing to 500, but you don't have to play with these bonuses. You can play a game straight to 500 points and only add up the pip values that are left at the table. So if there are 32 pips left at the table, you're going to score 32 points. Again, you will still score those those bonuses for the Capicu and the Chuchazo, but you may not score bonuses for locking the hand or bonuses for passing. So these are just some different things that happen with respect to scoring. Again, in different families, in different parts of the island that just change the game. And you just want to understand what those are and lay those ground rules out at the beginning of the game so all players know. But in essence, the gameplay is the same. You're playing a domino, so one side of the table or the other side of the table. The first player to discard their last domino wins the hand for them and their team, and players will score points dependent on what the pip values are left at the table, and again, for any bonuses that may be won during the game. And this is pretty much how you play Puerto Rican dominoes. So, what about you guys? Do you guys play dominoes? Are you from a Hispanic culture? How do you guys score it? You know, how do you play it in maybe your parts of Puerto Rico, or maybe in the DR, or in Cuba, or in Jamaica, wherever it is? How do you guys play your dominoes? I'd love to hear your comments down below. Again, this is like cards. There are so many variations of playing different types of card games that people have their own house rules, their own sets of rules throughout different parts of the country. But in essence, whatever gets you and your family to the table, whatever becomes a cultural staple in your household, have fun, enjoy it, teach others so that they can discover what it is to have a great family time at the table with the people that you love. So again, thank you for stopping through the Lobby Hobbies. I truly appreciate you guys coming down below. Again, leave some comments, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and hit that bell icon. That way you can be notified anytime we drop new content here in the channel, and I'll check you guys out on the next episode.